This NASCAR 2024 Craftsman Truck Series Championship Futures Update edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has the best AI picks and predictions, and their football models are almost live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Cody, I don't know what we're mourning right now, but I noticed both of us are wearing black. Maybe we're just mourning the fact that it is not NASCAR racing going on right now, but there's still plenty of things to talk about. We are mourning Corey LaJoie. I did see that he is the poster boy on the front page of the NASCAR website. That lonely looking thing that's got going on where Corey LaJoie's like, I'm sailing off into the sunset. But I know, Cody, you're a little heartbroken about that one.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day, and I am heartbroken. He did have an episode of Stacking Pennies. They dropped today to talk about it, so I'm about halfway through the episode. It just came out a little bit ago. So yeah, he's upset. Sounds like he probably got a decent buyout. So he's gonna keep trying to piece it together. That's what he's always done throughout his career. So hopefully, he's mentioned that he had an opportunity before he went to Spire to go to JRM. Rod.
I couldn't even
see me become a JRM fan quickly.
Hey, listen.
I'd love to see it.
But does that make me? Does that mean I have to be a Gibbs fan after that? I don't know how that works.
I'd still be a Gibbs fan too, so don't worry. But
all right,
Steven in the chat checking in. He says hi.
Hi,
Hello,
Steven.
How's it going? We're going to talk some truck series today. I'm excited for every episode, obviously, Rod. But this one, it's heavy at the top of the board for sure. But that being said, I think there is some extremely good value as you look through here. So I'm pretty excited to talk about the truck series today.
Yeah, I mean, we could basically just close up shop and bring up one name and then call this a 6-minute episode, but we definitely won't do that because there's a lot more to talk about.
Look at the last couple of years, that'd be a bad idea, Rod.
That is absolutely the truth, which is why we're going to get into it for sure. Again, if you have not checked out our Xfinity and our Cup Series Championship Futures episodes, go back to that as well. We've talked about it all week long. Tomorrow, we're actually going to come back and we're going to talk some props. We're going to actually talk about some of the championship props that they got going on. Hopefully, that'll give the books enough time to sort of give us a few more in these other ones, but I doubt it. So we'll just go with what we got, have some fun with it. But Cody, it's been fun actually going back through and kind of going over these futures. We don't necessarily always get a chance to catch our breaths and to look at what's been going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're available throughout the season, but it's so hard to take the time to slow down and look at them when we're going from one race to another, and we barely have enough time to talk about, what happened last week and what we're expecting this next week, and it just, there's not a lot of time in there for futures talk. So this break does give us that chance to slow down, catch our breaths, and take a look at these and make sure we've got the right futures bets in place to try to make some money as we're closing on. I mean, we're not that far away, unfortunately, Rod. We got 14 weeks of racing left, and much less of that for the truck series for sure. But yeah, in total 14 weeks left throughout NASCAR. So we're almost there.
Yeah, trucks, very, very short season. We are very, very close to the playoffs, very, very close to the postseason, and very, very close to you getting drunk by me saying very, very. But listen, we're talking about time. Time is running out for the NFL season to be upon us. But tomorrow, I mean, if you're listening to this on Thursday, it's tonight. Then we got the Hall of Fame game. So
It's back.
Football's back, baby, in the Sports Gambling Podcast. Launched their 32 NFL team previews. As a bonus, each team preview is going to include a code word. So crack out those decoder rings, everybody that's out there, and sit by your radio so you can figure out all 32 words. Submit that 32 code word phrase, and you can be the lucky winner who gets a $500 NFL Circa future bet. It's $500 free dollars. All you got to do is listen for 32 words. Oh man, that's the easiest $500 you're going to get. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and of course the SGPN app. Again, don't forget Ovaltine is not it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been in the room while Sean and Ryan are trying to figure out the code phrase that you have to make sure is long enough to be 32 words, but then you have to make it exactly 32 words. That was probably a fun conversation, or multiple days of conversation potentially. Nick Fortune checking in. Good afternoon, Hot Rod and Sir Cody. It's Jack Wood betting time. Good afternoon, Nick. I would suggest that you do not bet on Jack Wood in the futures market. Not eligible to win. Doesn't mean that he won't be offered, because we saw that yesterday. Haley Deegan still being offered in some books. Don't. You can bet on Jack Wood a lot of times, but maybe hold off in the futures market, because first of all, he wouldn't cash anyways. Second of all, he's not eligible.
Jack Wood betting future. Jack Wood championship ticket. That would be something that if you posted that, I would maybe I'd Venmo you a beer, because that's something I know
you're gonna need it.
Yeah, you're gonna need to get your money back for sure. But yeah.
So should we set this up, Rod, real quick?
Indeed, go for it.
There's one race remaining in the regular season for the trucks. That'll be this next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but Saturday, August 10th at Richmond will be the final race for the Truck Series regular season. So we're pretty close to having a locked-in field here. Only 10 drivers make it in the Truck Series, whereas, it's 12 in Xfinity, 16 in Cup. Only 10 in the Truck Series. Currently, you got Taylor Gray, 48 to the good. He's looking pretty good. I think he just has to finish like 22nd or something to lock himself in. But Ben Rhodes plus 22, he's looking pretty good. Tanner Gray plus 5, he'll die -5. Stuart Friesen -16. So, Kraft and Purdy -43, -44. They would probably need some miracles at this point, but going to definitely be a battle right there on the cut line, assuming you don't have a new winner at Richmond, which I would say is fairly unlikely. So, that's what we're looking at there. So only 8 races total left in the Truck Series. Of course, they only have 7 playoff races. And only one left in the regular season here.
Yeah. So what is there? Like five drivers locked in by wins. That's Heim, Christian Eckes Chastain. No, Chastain's not locked in. He did win, but he's not locked in. Sanchez, Majeski, and Carruth, all 5 of those locked in for wins. But yeah, I mean, after that, can you say anybody like Daniel Dye gets in, has a good run? Friesen's got to win. Crafton's got to win. Purdy's got to win. They only got one race to do it, so this is going to be definitely something to keep your eye on.
Yeah, I was looking at the grid here. So Bob has the grid. Obviously, those guys are all locked in. Ankrum has also clinched a spot. Enfingers clinched a spot. So those guys are also in just based off of points. Now they've clinched their spots. So there you go.
Yep. So really the only people on the bubble essentially would be Tanner Gray right there at 10th place, 5 points over, and then Ben Rhodes. He's 22 points over to the good. I mean, Taylor's at 48. It'd be difficult.
So Taylor, 24th or better, no matter what anybody else does, he would clinch. And if Eckes finishes 26th or better, he will clinch the regular season title.
Yep. So again, really just one more spot available to a new winner. That's essentially, and the wild card here is if somebody gets in on a win that's not here already. So
which is what, maybe Lane Riggs. I mean, who else really could win and get in from underneath this?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like, it'd be
probably about
difficult
it.
for any
So,
of these other guys
yeah.
to. Jake Garcia could be a guy.
Could he, Rod? I don't think so.
I said could. I didn't
I
say would.
already put that championship ticket in the trash.
You may need to dig out.
Unfortunately, actually, I shredded it because I didn't even want to see it if I accidentally dropped it out of the trash can. But yeah, I placed one of those at the beginning of the season, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, you're likely looking at Tanner Gray, Daniel Dye, Stuart Friesen, one of those three being that final driver.
Yeah. So then as we start to craft this futures discussion, then those are the drivers that we'll keep in mind as we do so. But I want to get hot and heavy into this conversation. But before we do that, I would like to take a second to tell you all about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy just launched Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 pick'em entries and then streaking. I've said this all week long, and I mean it. Keep your clothes on. Nobody wants to see that stuff. But if you must, you must, but still go streaking. If you can go and get an 11-0 run, you can win 1,000 times your money. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. You can do specials and boosts on all flex entries. Hey, go check out Cody and mine social media at Husker_Zeeb, at RJ Villagomez. We both got some underdog plays out. I've got some Olympic handball plays out. So if you like Olympic handball, which you should, go check out mine. And then, of course, for Cody, he's got some stuff out there as well. So go check that out. You can sign up with our promo code RACESGPN if you have not already. Please do. Last day of the month. We need all the signups we can get because we want that bonus. So go sign up with promo code RACESGPN to claim that special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code RACESGPN. Let's talk about Odds Jam. Odds Jam is your one-stop shop for beating the sports books. Odds Jam uses millions of data points across every U.S. and Canadian sportsbook to show you the best value plays for your money. Their lawn shopping tool shows you the best price for any bet you want to make across countless sportsbook, not just DraftKings and FanDuel, but even Bet Online, Bovada, Cut, and many, many more. Their arbitrage tool will find opportunities where you can bet both sides of the same prop on different sports books to guarantee a positive ROI. The new fantasy tool features the highest EV plays relative to sportsbook odds, allowing you to crush sites like Underdog Fantasy. They even have a tool for finding the best sign-up bonuses. So if you're interested in trying out Odds Jam, you can get a 7-day free trial by using the link below. But don't forget to enter the promo code SGPN to get 35% off of your first month of subscription. OddsJam.com, promo code RACESGPN.
Underdog has preseason NFL action, Rod. I got an article that will be out probably any minute. As soon as Jack hits the publish button on it, will be out on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. So make sure you check that out. Preseason Underdog can be a little tricky. You got to figure out who's going to play and how much they're going to play. But found a couple of good angles and a couple that I really like. So make sure you check that out. You got to get in on the look. It's the first football game of the year, Rod. I don't care if you and I are out there playing. You got to get in on the action. Special agents playing? Come on.
Sign me up. Oh, wait, I'm already signed up. Somebody else sign up, please. Make sure you go do that. Race SGPN. Olympic handball. I 4 years ago fell in love with it when I started writing for it. I didn't even know it was a thing back then. Tokyo Olympics. Now I'm loving it, man. It's
what is handball, Rod?
All right, here we go. You ready for this, guys? We're gonna give you a quick handball lesson.
I don't know if I'll regret asking this question or not.
No.
Anyways.
Think basketball without too much dribbling. Think soccer without kicking. It's essentially just a game that you're trying to score goals, right? But you're passing the ball around. That ball is like not even that big. You can palm that ball. But there's a lot of passing, a lot of throwing. You do have to dribble it. You can't take more than 3 steps without dribbling.
Tougher rules in the NBA. That's crazy.
Tougher rules in the NBA, yeah. And there's more contact in the NBA, and more contact than soccer. Like if you breathe on a soccer player and they fall over, it's a yellow card.
Red card.
Yeah. You're suspended for like 6 games. Nah, man, these handball players, they're grabbing their, you can't.
So it's like rugby, basketball, kind of, sort of ish, with a small ball. Kind of.
Sure, yeah. Just watch a game. I guarantee you.
I'm actually intrigued now. So I'll listen to your underdog picks and get in on the action.
Yeah, for sure.
See, that's all it takes, Rod. Doesn't take much.
I'm telling you, I love those under the fold sports. I'm a big fan of them. But NASCAR, guys, guess some can consider under the fold because people people love it and they're fiercely loyal to it, but it's not mainstream. But even less mainstream is the Truck Series, which is what we're here to talk about today. Cody, the futures market starts and ends sometimes with Corey Heim. I don't know that I've ever seen a futures bet as low as Corey Heim. If you're looking at him at DraftKings, he's plus 135 to win the championship. If you're looking on Caesars, he's plus 130. Bet365 has him at plus 140. Ooh, value. But man, Cody, I mean, Corey Heim, it's been Heim time for most of the season. But the problem is that it's not always Heim time.
And here's the couple of biggest things, right? Yes, Corey Heim has seemingly really dominated this season, but I'll remind you, Rod, last year he missed the race at Gateway because he was so sick he couldn't race, and he still won the regular season championship. This year he's not even going to win the regular season championship, most likely, right? All Eckes has to do is finish 26th or better. That doesn't include if he gets any stage points. Like, Eckes just about has it in the bag, barring early exit from the race at Richmond. So, in spoiler alert, if you've not watched the 2023 truck season yet, he didn't win the championship either. So, is Corey Heim going to win the championship? There's a fucking good chance he does, right? I think that's not really a secret, but it's not a foregone conclusion that this is in the bag and it is locked in and it happens. Pretty tough to bet at plus 135. I'd be interested to see, fast forward to Final Four day, you're going to have the option to bet on, obviously, him to win the race. You also should have the option to bet on him to win the championship, which we've seen, especially in the Truck Series, don't always coincide. Be interesting to see if you get I guess he'll probably be minus money to win the championship at that point, likely, assuming the season continues as it's gone. But he struggled a little more on the shorter tracks too, so that's that's something to note. Obviously, I'm not hating on Corey Heim because that'd be pretty stupid to do anyways. But I was looking. Let's see, did they went to Phoenix, right? Or did they not go?
No, they have not been to Phoenix this
season. They have not been to Phoenix. That's right.
This will be the only time they go.
So that is okay.
So look, here's what we're talking about too. And I know that a lot of times you guys who are hardcore degens, you know what it means to not be able to bet somebody at a number. If you're relatively newer to the betting scene, or if you're relatively newer to the whole world of betting in NASCAR, it's like to bet Corey to win the race is probably going to be 200, 300, 400 plus 400, right? You'll obviously win more money on him winning the race at Phoenix than you would to bet him to win the entire championship. Now, that doesn't mean you can't double down, but as you get lower in the numbers, it takes more of an investment from you to win a decent amount of money. So, and then of course, if you've invested that much and he doesn't win the championship, then you're screwed, because then you just put a whole lot more money down than you would have if it was at plus 400, plus 500, 10 to 1, 12 to 1, whatever it was. That means that you can put a smaller investment down to win a little more substantial bet, right? So that's why we tell you that it's hard to bet at such a number. Is it going to hit? Yeah, but your profit margin is not going to be as great because of what you'll have to put down to make a decent amount off of it. And so really all we're doing is trying to play that slider game, right? Where you're trying to figure out at what point does it make sense for you to make a bet. It's not whether this bet is going to cash or not, because it may cash, but are you going to make as much of it off of it as you should?
And the thing is, there's just too much risk. Like John Hunter Nemechek, you think Corey Heim's dominating the Truck Series? John Hunter Nemechek fucking owned the Truck Series for multiple years after he went down from Cup back to the trucks with KBM. He didn't even make the Final Four one of those seasons, and the other season he made it but didn't even win the championship. So when he should have been going in the playoffs, you're like, oh, John Hunter Nemechek's going to win. Like, he doesn't even make the Final Four. Like, yeah, that would be crazy for Corey Heim, but not impossible, right? Things can go wrong. There can be bad luck. You accidentally put together 2 bad races in the round of 8. By the way, one of those races is Talladega. Not hard to accidentally put together a bad race there, right? So you go in, you have a bad race at Talladega, you get a surprise winner at Homestead or Martinsville, you have a mechanical issue, whatever the case is. You have a surprise winner at Talladega on top of that. Like, those final 4 spots can disappear quickly. I mean, if you think about it, Corey Heim gets involved in a wreck very early at Talladega, doesn't score any stage points, doesn't, whatever buffer he's put up there is great, but now all of a sudden in Ankrum or a Rhodes wins at Talladega and locks himself into the championship, now there's only 3 spots left. If Eckes takes one of those, if Majeski's going to win one of these races, now you're down to 1 spot. It's not as easy to necessarily get there as you'd think right now with how good he's been and how great he always is, as it should be. He's not been I say he's not been as good on short tracks. He won like North Wilkesboro and some other places, but you just saw him not be great at IRP last week. Martinsville's one of those last 3. Like, that's the thing. Now, all of that being said, Corey Heim's probably going to win the Truck Series championship. It will all not matter anyways, but that's just the case makes it hard to bet on it at this number.
Yep. 15 starts for Corey Heim, 12 top 10s, 10 top 5s, and 5 wins, average finishing position of 7.7. Again, could he win it? Yep. There's a reason why he's the absolute favorite and the runaway favorite in this one. And the books are definitely covering themselves in case he does go off and win the whole thing. So the question to you is whether or not you feel comfortable betting him at such a low number. And again, that's a come to Jesus moment for you. Whether or not you decide that that's what you do, we're not telling you that it's not going to cash. We're just telling you it's just a hard investment to make. So let's talk about somebody else that is right there with him, and that's Christian Eckes. DraftKings has him at plus 225. You got Caesars plus 220 for him, and then plus 220 as well at Bet365. 2-1, still a little difficult to stomach, but not quite as much. I feel like this is a better number for a guy that is being a little less valued than Corey Heim. Obviously, we know that it's him and Heim, Eckes and Heim, that have been swapping around back and forth all season long. Eckes has 3 wins in and of his own right. So, yeah, I mean, of the 15 races, 8 of those have gone to either Eckes or Heim. So this one I feel a little more comfortable putting something on than I would Corey Heim.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at these 2 guys, like, it's really, it's all about Heim time, and for whatever reason, everybody's all about Heim, but Eckes has had a stronger season. He's going to win the regular season title. He's going to have that extra buffer. He's been the more consistent guy. Not that Heim's been inconsistent, because really he's been consistent. I mean, he had 1 disqualification where he started second. It was scored or finished second, was scored last for loose lug nuts, which I think you still shouldn't get disqualified for, but whatever. But at plus 225, the number's definitely not great still, but it's a lot better than plus 135. It's so funny when you look at it that way, because it's only 100 points. Like, is it that big of a difference? But really it sort of is, especially when 2 guys have been so close together. I don't know if you remember who won the championship race at Phoenix last year, Rod. Usually you don't if it's not the champion. It was Christian Eckes, led 36 laps. Christian Eckes has been pretty fucking good at the short tracks. We saw that again last week at IRP. I know IRP and Phoenix not necessarily exactly like, but that's been a place that Eckes has been good in the past and just won there last year during the championship race. So obviously if he can make the Final Four this year, he's having a stellar season. He's going to go in with a lot of fucking playoff points based on likely winning the thing. Actually, Heim's still going to have more playoff points than Eckes likely going into it. So he'll have a little more of a buffer. But if you have to pick between one of these 2 guys, Heim and Eckes, I'm going to take Eckes just because the number's bigger. And I would rather have that when these guys should be viewed equally, even though they're not always viewed equally. And that paid off big time for us last week, getting value on him at IRP when he was being slept on a little bit.
I mean, you talk about the whole, it feels weird to say that there's a difference between 135 and 225. And there essentially is, because I mean, it's the difference between doubling your money and having to put a little extra in to almost double your money. So for me, again, if I'm trying to double up on Christian Eckes, where Christian Eckes has only had 1 race this entire season that he's finished outside of the top 10, and that was in Atlanta back in the day where he had brake problems, right? And that's a super speedway.
Yeah, and he had a fucking fast ass truck that day. Like, it's a super speedway. He was good. But he just couldn't stop, and I guess that's an issue.
Not on a super speedway. You just keep.
It shouldn't be, but
no,
the whole pitting for gas and tires thing. You sort of need brakes for that.
Whatever. Just punch holes through the bottom of it and shit feet down like
Fred Flintstone it.
Yeah, you'll be good to go. 15 starts, 9 top 5s, 3 wins, 14 top 10s for Christian Eckes on the season. You know, it really ultimately comes down to, in these two instances, the price is better.
He just led from start to finish for the first time since Timothy Peters in a truck race. Like, the fact that these two guys are not at the same number is a bit ridiculous. And I mean, I'm not going to go load up on Eckes, but if I'm grabbing one of these two guys, I'm definitely putting something on Eckes.
Yeah, because again, you could stand to win more with less on Christian Eckes than you would for Corey Heim. So definitely with you on that one. All right, we'll talk through some of these other drivers on the slate. But first, let's tell you about Rhythm. If you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, you're missing out. They just predicted a bunch of winners for the 3M Open, and their football models are about to drop. You can even customize your own betting models easily using Rhythm's tools. Go claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Just imagine the regret that you're going to feel, and that remorse, that anger, that pissed offness, that if you win your office survivor pool but you didn't even enter the Circa contest, don't do that to yourself. Please don't. But if you don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football, don't worry. Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go out. You can hang with Ryan and Sean and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, August 22nd through August the 24th. Use promo code SGP15 to save 15% off your hotel room for sign-up weekend. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th. Use a proxy to play from anywhere in the world. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. SGPN, by the way. Oh no, it is SGP. Sorry, my bad. I can't.
Don't go away from the prompter route. Just read what it says.
Oh wait, no, that's
and go fuck yourself, Cindy.
I'm telling you right now, if somebody put that on a prompter, I would definitely.
I wonder if I have the ability to edit those ad reads. Oh,
you do, as a matter of fact. Actually, I don't.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so the next few of these, we're not going to. I mean, we're going to spend some time on it, but we're not going to go too far in depth because only. Okay,
I can sum up this next one in one word, Rod.
No.
Is
that the word?
Yes, that's the word. No is
so
the correct
good.
answer. You're good at this.
Good. Nick Sanchez 5-1. I was going to ask you what your opinion would be on this one, but that obviously is your opinion. Nick Sanchez 5-1, 5.5 to 1 on Caesars, 5 to 1 on Bet365.
Could he get it done? Yeah, sure. But 5 to 1, just 0 inch. I mean, this is. Yeah, I'm not interested at all in any. I mean, we've already talked about Nick Sanchez for too long on this, to be honest with you.
Let me.
And again, like, just to reiterate, that's not to say he can't win the championship. He's the third favorite when 4 guys make it to the championship race. He absolutely could win it, but at 5 to 1 with 8 races left in the season, there's nowhere near enough value to go bet on Nick Sanchez to win this.
And just to put a little more context on it, so for those of you who don't know already what's going on, Nick Sanchez 15 starts, 10 top 10s, 7 top 5s. He does have 2 wins on the season, 1 at Charlotte and 1 at Daytona. So a super speedway win and bigger then tracks. A win. Say again?
Bigger tracks.
Yeah, bigger tracks. So
not Phoenix.
10th at IRP, 13th at Pocono, 13th at Nashville, where his last 3 races. He does a 17th at Vegas, 17th at Bristol. So to Cody's point, struggling on those tracks that aren't super speedways and or the expansiveness that is Charlotte. So I don't know. We'll see what he does in the next few races. If he ends up doing well, these odds are going to drop. So, but again, like Cody said, I'm not necessarily scared by Nick Sanchez. I don't think he's going to jump up and win this one. So this is just a stay away. I don't even care about value. This is just a stay away for me.
Nothing about it makes me even want to consider it.
Indeed. This next one though could be a little intriguing, and that's Ty Majeski 6 to 1 over there on both Caesars and DraftKings, and also Bet365. So he's 6 to 1 across the board. We just saw Majeski pick up a win, right? So he's not completely dead. He's definitely in the mix. So now, do we see the resurgence of Ty Majeski? Is this the beginning of good things for Ty. We thought Ty was going to win the championship a couple of seasons ago, right? Turns out he didn't. So is this another repeat of that, or does he put a ring on his finger?
Man, it's so hard to see. It might be hard to see because he's so short that you can't see him, but so hard to see him as a you like that, Rod? So hard to see him as a champion. I don't know. At 6-1, I think that this is worth considering. I am not going to go bet on this, but you can definitely make a strong case. You're going to see as we get to the odds, as we kind of go here. This is the fourth driver on the list. He's 6-1. The next guy on the list is 16-1. So the books think there's a pretty clear-cut top four here. I do think Talladega could throw a big wrench into that, of course, but Martinsville is one of the tracks leading into this. He's very good on the short flat tracks, like Martinsville. He was great at IRP last week. Obviously, I mean, the piano fell out of the sky, landed on the truck, took him out of contention. He still drove all the way back to the field and won. And so far, we haven't heard that he's been cheating again. So, I mean, but that alone should prove to you what Majeski's capable of. So could he come out, if he can have a great day at Phoenix, or at Martinsville rather, get to Phoenix, could he be the champion? Absolutely. I think that he could. To go back to last year, I'm trying to remember who was in the Final Four. I think it was Hocevar, Rhodes, Majeski, and Smith. And with a couple of laps to go, I think Majeski was they were like 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, or so. I think they were all up there. There ended up being a wreck, and Majeski had a bad finish, not indicative of how he ran on the day, but like he was in the mix to win the title. So I think at 6-1, it's worth considering. I'd rather take Eckes or Heim at their smaller numbers, even though they're a third of the number that Majeski is. But I think that a case can definitely be made. I can't make a case for Nick Sanchez. I can make a case for Ty Majeski. I'm not going to bet it, but Dos Flacos, you have my permission. Go ahead.
Bet that one. No, listen. So for Majeski, he actually led the most laps in that race at Phoenix. He led 48 laps, and the next best was Corey Heim with 47. 36 laps went to Christian Eckes, so 35 went to Zane Smith. I mean, all of those guys were all championship contenders, right? And so they all led laps. They were all running around there. In the end, Christian Eckes got it done. Obviously didn't win the championship. It was Ben Rhodes that won it that time. But yeah, I mean, look, if you think about exactly what Ty Majeski needs to do, it's just to lead this race and to finish the story, right? That's Ty Majeski is the Cody Rhodes of his time. He almost had it at WrestleMania, but he needs to finish his story, and he finally got a win to get there, and he's going to end up doing it. 15 starts, 9 top 10s, 6 top 5s, and a win. Average finish of 12.9. This is just Majeski needs to, if he wants to win this championship, he's going to have to really start digging in there and return to that form that he was at last year at Phoenix. But 6-1, this is worth speculation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So you talked about it. The next guy on the list is now at 16-1. That's Rajah Caruth.
That's a big cliff that the number falls off of there. Yeah.
It's 1,000 points right there. So
that's wow. Yeah. That's really, I mean, I guess that it shows you a lot, right? These four drivers, I think it's so tough to lump Sanchez in with these other three, but I mean, playoff points wise, he's third place. So you got to give him that. But yeah, these guys kind of stand out above the rest of the guys.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, for the sake of argument here, we'll talk about Rajah Caruth. He does have a win. He is locked into the playoffs. But I mean, we saw the splash. We saw the great stuff that he could do. We saw him run very well, and we've seen him run particularly well all season long. I'm just not really convinced yet that this is a championship team, that 17 truck, even though it feels like it should be, even though he has run, or I'm 71 truck rather, not 17 truck. Sorry.
Dyslexia, that's fine.
Numbers are not necessarily my thing lately. But for Rajah, 15 starts, 8 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and the win. He did start on the pole at IRP, finished 8th, right? He's on the streak of 3 top 10 finishes in a row between Nashville, Pocono, and IRP. But is this a championship team, Cody? And is 16-1 enough speculation on it?
Yeah, I'm not really interested in this. I think Roger Carruth has a very bright future. I think that he's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about for a lot of years going forward. I don't think he's a champion yet. Again, could he win it? Yeah, for sure. He's in a good enough truck. If he can get to Phoenix, he could put together a race. Sure, but at 16-1, I don't think the number's big enough. I'm not really super interested in betting on this.
Yeah, he's 12-1 on Caesars as well. So again, I'm not.
That's a lot shorter. So yeah, if you like him, make sure you shop around because obviously DraftKings and Bet365 have him at 18 or 16-1 rather. Only 12-1 on Caesars.
I'll tell you too, though, if you do believe in him, get him at, like you said, 16-1 now, because if he does if he does well next week, right? If he does well next week at Richmond, rather, then that's not going to stay the same. If he does another top 10 finish, this is going to be closer to 10-1, 8-1 in some cases on most books. So if you really believe in him, now's the time to jump on it. Don't wait, because Richmond's not going to do you any favors if he does well there. The next couple are two that I think deserve talking about, and that's Tyler Ankrum, 18-1, Grant Enfinger, 18-1. Ankrum has been frustrating all season long, right? You expect better out of that 18 truck. You wanted better out of that 18 truck. Unfortunately, you haven't gotten better out of that 18 truck. So the question is, at 18-1, should you be considering the 18 truck?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sorry. I'm so excited to talk about the next guy that I just can't wait to get to him. But man, for me with Ankrum, he's in a fast truck. He sometimes shows up. Could they put it together? Sure, maybe. I mean, it's sort of the Brandon Jones type of argument for he's in a JRM truck. If he can just get to Phoenix, maybe he can be good there. That was at 75-1. though. This feels a lot more like the Sammy Smith argument of, well, the number's just not big enough, even though he's in a good truck. So the truck's fast. He's had a couple of races where we're like, okay, and like early in the season when you were all over him, I mean, he was very impressive, and then he kind of faded out, and we just haven't really seen it since then. But yeah, I'm not overly interested in Ankrum.
Yeah, and really the only thing that tells the story about Ankrum, we'll start at the road course over there at COTA. 25th at COTA, 5th at Martinsville, 34th at Texas, 20th at Kansas, 26th at Darlington, 8th at North Wilkesboro, 32nd at Charlotte, 15th at Gateway. I mean, 2 out of 3 top 5s in the last 3 races. Yeah, but there's been a lot of thuds in that song, and I don't know. You can't have all of that when you've got guys like Heim and Eckes who are at the top of their game right now, who are literally putting together run after run after run of top 5s, of top 3s, of top 2s. Like, you can't sputter. And for Tyler Ankrum, there's a lot of sputter in that one. So even at 16-1, or did I say 18-1 in some spots? 18-1. Yeah. Even there, I can't get behind it. Could it happen? Yeah, I don't know. That's again, that silence means I'm trying to contemplate a scenario in which it happens, and I don't know that it does. So yeah, Tyler Ankrum, kind of stay away from that one.
This is my favorite one right here, Rod. Grant Enfinger.
Yeah.
20-1 over on Caesars. Go get that if you can. Look, I mean, they've put it together lately, and they've shown us, we were very skittish on Enfinger kind of coming into the season, and very, can we trust him in this new truck, right? GMS shuts the doors. He goes over to, what team does he even race for? I can't even remember. But, and it's like, are they going to put it together? We know the season kind of starts. Okay, some not great finishes, a couple okay finishes, a bad stretch. But, once we got to North Wilkesboro, by the way, a short, flat track, 2nd place. Then you get to Charlotte, 3rd place, 17th at Worldwide Technologies, but 6th at Nashville, 2nd at Pocono, 3rd at Indy last week, where he led 71 laps. Like, something has obviously clicked. They've figured something out. He is a veteran of the sport. He's been there time and time again. He can get this done. If you're telling me all Grant Enfinger has to do is get to the championship race, if anybody gets to the champion, and this is the case, I mean, you can make this case for Ankrum and Carruth and any of these guys too. If you can just get to that championship race, we've seen it. Ben Rhodes is the key example multiple times. Anybody can win this Truck Series championship, especially with as messy as these truck races get. And in that championship, think back to that truck race last year where everybody was saying how embarrassed they were, all this stuff. But Grant Enfinger could just go out and kick everybody's ass in this race. He doesn't need all of the luck stuff to happen. He is that good. You've got Martinsville, Homestead. He should be good at both those. He should be decent at Talladega as well to get into that Final Four. I think Grant Enfinger is going to be in the Final Four. This is my must bet right now. Bet in the Truck Series Championship. Grant Enfinger should not be 20-1. The books have not corrected for the turn we've seen, right? We come into the season, don't do it. We don't know what we're going to get. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Holy shit, they found the right street. Now they're headed the right direction. They've put it together for many, many races in a row now. I'm convinced. I'm fully in on Grant Enfinger. He can get this done, and this number is not going to get any lower. It's just going to continue to creep down and get shorter. By the time we get to championship weekend when he's in the Final Four, it's not going to be anywhere close to this. So get your Grant Enfinger now at 20-1.
100%. I mean, he's 18-1 in other places too, but 20-1 is definitely the best place for him. To your point, though, Cody, about putting it together for many, many races, Darlington, 16th. But since then, North Wilkesboro, 2nd, Charlotte, 3rd, Bad Day at Gateway, 17th, but 6th at Nashville, 2nd at Pocono, 3rd at IRP. You want to talk about putting CR7 on the map. That is exactly what Grant Enfinger is doing this season. So, yeah, this is one that I'm excited about, especially for the number, because he's heating up at just the right time. He's hanging up there with the X's, with the Heims of the world right now. And, you know, for a guy that far down on the board to be performing as well as he is, yeah, you grab this now at 20-1 and sit back, because I honestly believe that he is going to make the championship four by the end of this, with Heim, with Eckes, and with one other driver, maybe with Jeske at the end of it. Because you even look at what he did at Phoenix too, the last time that he was out there. He actually had a pretty solid day as well. He was up in the mix. He finished in 6th place at Phoenix last season. So, yeah, I mean, again,
that was with a team that was done. Like, that was their last race as an organization, and still put together a decent finish.
Yep. So definitely love that. As we get down into the next couple of guys, let's talk about Tanner Gray, 20-1. Or I'm sorry, Taylor Gray, 20-1. Well, both of them. Well, actually, Taylor is 20-1 on both Caesars and on DraftKings, and he's actually 20-1 on Bet365 as well. So across the board, Taylor Gray, 20-1. It'd be a fun story. I don't think it's going to happen. We do love our Tay-Tay. We love our shifties, but I don't think we've seen.
Give me some 2025 Truck Series Championship odds. I'm interested in betting Taylor Gray. I don't think this is his year.
No, this is definitely not his year. Unfortunately, it's not that we don't love him. It's not that we don't think he's a talented driver, but championship teams, you have to beat the Eckeses and the Heims consistently. Just not doing it, not putting it together. So Taylor Gray is an out for us, even though he's got 8 top 10 finishes in his 15 starts, 4 top 5s. But the last few weeks have not been good for him. 30th at Gateway, 34th at Nashville. He did have a 4th at Pocono, but 16th at IRP. When you talk about Grant Enfinger peaking at the right time, Taylor not, just the opposite direction for him as well. Ben Rhodes, returning champ. Can I interest you in some Ben Rhodes at 22-1?
How do you not bet this, Rob?
That's what I'm saying. 22-1 for Ben Rhodes.
You almost have to. Like, he's won 2 of the last 3 championships. Do you know how impressive he was in both of those seasons leading into those championships? He was not. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody thought he would do it. And like last year he went through like 4 crew chiefs last season. They kept trying things just not working. And then he just gets it fucking done in the playoffs. He shows up. He is like the opposite of Denny Hamlin. Like, he truly is. And he reminds me so much of Joey Logano as well. Just hangs around and hangs around. He's tough to predict. And boom, he jumps on it when it counts. He wins these championships. John Nemechek should have won the championship in 2021. Corey Heim should have won the championship last year. Ben Rhodes won both of them. Like, he almost really, we are a Ty Majeski spinning from 3rd place away from 3 in a row for Ben Rhodes. He was leading with 3 laps to, I think it was 3 laps to go. It was within 10 laps to go at Phoenix in 2022. Ty Majeski got squirrely, spun out in 3rd place. The caution came out, And I think Zane Smith ends up going on to win the championship in 22. But Ben Rhodes was leading the race at that point. If we don't get the caution, Zane Smith is not getting around him. Ben Rhodes is the 3-time in a row champion of the series. He is there at the end every single time. Should he be in the fight? Will he even make the playoffs is still a question, Rod, with one race remaining. But he'll probably end up in the Final Four with a chance to win the championship. You cannot not bet. Is that cannot not? Yeah, whatever. Don't care. You got to bet on Ben Rhodes at 22-1 because he just fucking shows up and does it. And you're going to hate yourself so much if you listen to this episode, you don't bet on him, and we get to the championship and he gets it done again because you're going to be like, he shouldn't win the championship this year, Rod, but he's got to be in the mix.
That is the only case you need to make, in my opinion, is that he should not. There should be no reason. You've watched this all season long, and all you've seen are 2 or 3 names. You've seen Ben Rhodes because they show him every once in a while. It's an obligatory shot. They're like, you have to get the 99 in there. All right, fine. And Ben Rhodes, look at Ben Rhodes, right? But by the end of this day, he may end up being the championship because all he's got to do is get in the Final Four. And he's just got a knack for being there. To your point, too, Ben Rhodes was leading the race with lap 151. And then, like you said, that caution came out for the 66 and the 38. Then it was Chandler Smith giving way to Zane Smith for the win. Yeah, I mean, that number alone, 22-1 alone for the returning champion, you have to do it because you never know what could happen. If he gets in there.
And like both times he's won it, it's come out of nowhere, which is what it would be this year again. If he again, he's borderline making the playoffs right now. So you have to bet it.
There's no logical explanation. I'll tell you that. Right. If you're looking for logic, you've come to the wrong place.
The logic is he's just good enough to hang around and be there to pounce. And in the truck series of all 3 series, like that's probably more important there than anywhere else. And it's worked out twice for him. And the press conference you get from him afterwards when he's wasted is great.
You gotta love it too. I'm gonna ask you about the next 2, and I want you to tell me if there's even a discussion that needs to be had. Tanner Gray, 30-1 over on DraftKings, and then 30-1 on Caesars, as well as 33-1 on Bet365. If we're not talking Taylor, we can't talk Tanner.
Yeah, no. Okay. That's a negative.
Okay, because Tanner's sitting there at the very bottom of that potential playoff cut right now with Daniel Dye sitting on the other end of that. So, it's not now. If you're gonna give me one of the Gray brothers, it's definitely Taylor. But yeah, I'm not interested in Tanner Gray. All right, and so then the next guy on that list would be Stuart Friesen. Stuart Friesen is
skipping over somebody.
Was I skipping over? Well, no, not really, because on DraftKings, Stuart Friesen's next at 40-1. So,
your DraftKings must be laid out differently than mine, but that's okay.
That's okay. Well, the next, okay, fine. So Stuart Friesen, should we even talk Stuart Friesen?
No.
Okay,
I mean, at 40-1, he's 16 points out of, or no, he's the last driver in the playoffs right now. Or wait,
no,
it's only 10 drivers, right?
Yep. So he's on the other end of it. He's 2 spots out right now.
Yeah, he's 16 points out. Man, you can definitely make the case, right? We often try to make the case for Stuart Friesen. He's 50-1 on Caesars. So if you want a little bit of a better number there, it's a tough case though. And there is a long shot case that I want to make, but it's not Stuart Friesen.
Well, look, I'm pointing alone at the fact that he's only got 4 top 10s this season in his 15 starts. He got 1 top 5. You got to do better than that. You can't be a champion if you're going to, I mean, you can accidentally be a champion, if you accidentally win Richmond.
Roads about that.
Well, exactly. All you got to do is win him. And for him, it's essentially a win and get in because he'd have to have catastrophe.
Well, he's only 16 points out. You can make up 16 points fairly easily.
I guess between Tanner and Daniel.
But it's over 2 guys, which definitely makes it tougher. But 16 points, I mean, even if he finishes, 6th place in both stages, that's 4 bonus. That's 8 bonus points. Like then you only have to beat him by 8 positions, 9 positions. It's definitely not out of the Rod's over here doing some math on his phone. It's not out of the question. But I'm not too interested in this.
I think we spent too much time already on Stuart Friesen.
Yes.
Let's go to Daniel Dye, 40-1. It's Mikey's favorite son that is the best camera operator in the entire NASCAR Truck Series field. But I don't know. 40-1 on DraftKings. He is 40-1 on Caesars. He is 40-1 over on Bet365.
You might not have had this on your bingo card, Rod, but if I had to place either Stuart Friesen or Daniel Dye, I would place Daniel Dye.
I'm not even going to argue with you on that one. Daniel Dye.
But that being said, don't bet on it. That being said, don't bet on Daniel Dye. It's been markedly improved, right? And we've talked Ricardo checking in. This is just his answer for everything. I feel like Ricardo just walks around and people are like, "Hey, Ricardo, how are you today?" Throw it in a parlay, and then he just keeps walking. Like that's his answer and your money won't die. DYE. Yes, that's great. Good play on words there. I like it. Don't throw him in a parlay either. But it's been a much improved season in the Truck Series, and we've talked about him in the Xfinity Series. He's doing great over there. He's probably got a lot more starts coming up with that as soon as we get to where Cup guys won't be able to drive and stuff like that. But I'm not ready for a Daniel Dye championship yet.
I don't know, man. 5 top 10 finishes in 15 races so far. 1 top 5. Yeah, again, it's.
Again, if he gets somehow get to Phoenix, anybody. I'm telling you right now, anybody that gets to Phoenix in the Final Four has a shot to win. I'm probably going to tell you, whoever the longest shot is, to bet on them just out of principle of that's how this Truck Series works. But it's such a. He's not even in the. He's in the playoffs technically, but right now, no, he's not. He's 5 points out, so he's not even in the playoffs.
Not even in yet.
So
he's sitting
again,
on the cup.
we've spent too much time on Daniel Dye.
I can hear the trolls now. These guys don't know what they're talking about. They said to bet on Daniel Dye. No, we didn't.
That's not what we said anyway.
Shut up. All right. So I'm going to ask you, do you want to talk about the following drivers? Matt Crafton, Lane Riggs, Chase Purdy, or Jake Garcia?
One of them, yes.
I'm thinking Lane Riggs might be the one you want to talk about.
Lane Riggs is the one I want to talk about, Rod. 65-1 over on the DraftKings, 60-1 on the Bet365, and 60-1 on Caesar. So if you can get him on DraftKings, 65-1. Lane Riggs is 75 points outside of the playoff cut line. So he is unlikely to make it on points, Rod. He would have to win at Richmond. Then he would obviously have to make quite a run. The case I can make for Lane Riggs, which we just saw last week at IRP, is he's a talented young driver. I've been big on him since learning he was coming into this ride, and he's really good at short tracks. If he can pull off a miracle at Richmond, which we've seen Richmond turn into a strategy race, especially in the trucks, if they could play their cards right, somehow pull off the upset victory to get into the playoffs. Now, maybe you just bet on him to win Richmond because you might get that same number anyways. But that might be the better route to go. But if he can do that, you've got Talladega wild card in the round of 8, right? You've also got Martinsville, which should be a great track for him. If he can get away to Phoenix, it's a short track, and I think he could be good there. He's in that 38 truck. We've seen it dominate with Zane Smith. We've seen it dominate with Todd Gilliland. It's taken Riggs some time to get his feet in there. I'm still not completely sold on him week to week. But these short tracks, he showed up and he's been competitive. He's done well. We just saw it again at IRP. 65-1. This is the last guy on the list that I'm willing to take a little bit of a dart throw on. It's a long shot for a reason again, but there's definitely that case that you can make. Give me some Lane Riggs at 65-1.
It's interesting in thinking that 5th at Gateway, turned around 25th at Nashville, but he did start 6th on the grid in that one, 30th at the Pocono, 5th at IRP. So 4 top 10s overall for this 38 truck and in Lane Riggs. He's got the potential to do it. You know that, like Cody said, the team's got the potential to do it. It's just a matter of can he put it together when it counts. And so really that's what we'll be looking at. If he ends up winning at Richmond, I think these odds take a dip. So if you think that he can win at Richmond to get in, because that is essentially what it's going to take is for him to win and get in at Richmond. So if you think that happens, double down, put something on it now for him to win the championship at 66-1, and then put something on him to win the race, which probably, like you said, is going to be somewhere in that 50-1 range, maybe even 60-1 range. So you'll have double dip all over the place if you do that. So yeah, I mean, he kind of is the last guy on the list. We did talk Chase Purdy at 65, just other notables, I guess, to clean it up. Garcia at 80-1 would be the only other guy to actually talk about because the rest of them are there.
Emergency alert, Rod. Holy shit, my phone's going crazy.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
We have severe thunderstorm warning.
Uh-oh,
They don't
for you.
usually, dang. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Cody, are you okay?
Right now I am. We'll see about later.
The
I know
weather's
well, the problem is here in the Midwest, it gets so fucking hot. It's 102 today. And then we get these storms that come in, and the heat and the storms mixed together makes for tornadoes and shit. So that will probably be my night. But
hey, you get tornadoes, we get fires, man. 102 degrees and fires.
Geez.
Like the entire state of California right now is one gigantic wildfire. So just
I wish they had Truck Series odds up for Richmond, but we have we have a full slate of Cup odds already, but no Truck Series odds. I would be interested to see what Lane Riggs' number is for Richmond, but yeah, again, he's kind of the last guy I'm even thinking about.
Yeah. All right. Again, to put a bow on it, Garcia 80-1. And then you get into the Ty Dillons of the world, Dean Thompson, Spencer Boyds. None of those guys are turning the needle at all. So, wow, Cody, I didn't think we were going to be able to spend an hour on trucks, but here we are.
I told you I was excited about this. Grand Infingers to play 20-1. Make sure you go place that. Give me a little Christian Eckes at plus 225. I do like him as well. And those are my two official. And Ben Rhodes 22-1. You gotta bet that. So those are my three official plays for you. Because I think you got to get in on Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm in on the Grant Enfinger one as well. And, just for grins and everything like that, Ty Majeski, 6-1. This could be his year. I know it's not super sexy, but, what the hell? He made it in last week, and now I think he's going to turn the table. And that truck just freaking plowed.
Yeah,
so,
he's capable of it. And by the way, Ben Rhodes has won 2 of the last 3 in a ThorSport truck. That's a ThorSport truck. And it's not that Majetski's not talented. We know that he is. We've given him a fair share of hate on the show, but it's more because he just makes stupid mistakes and has so much more so than anything. It's just bad luck that gets in his way. But he's very capable of getting it done.
I'd like to think that we are just graceful in our criticisms of folks. Like, we're not necessarily out to kill anybody or their career. We call it as we see it, ladies and gentlemen. We're not trying to bash just to bash and be overly negative just for the clicks. But yeah, we definitely are fair and impartial when it comes to our rewards.
Yeah, and hey, we've bet on him before, and we'll pull out every once in a while and be like, look, here's the week I'm going to bet on Joey Logano, and look how that goes for me. So that's why I don't do it very often, Russ.
All right. Well then, Cody, I think we're done with the trucks. Now that we'll come back tomorrow and we'll start talking about some of the championship 4 odds for the Cup Series, because that's what's available to us, but still plenty to talk about this week, even though everybody is enthralled with the shade that the Olympic team is throwing all over the place. Simone Biles getting blocked by one of her former teammates. I gotta love it. But yeah, it's Olympic week still. But we got plenty of NASCAR to talk about. Don't you worry about that.
Plenty of NASCAR not going anywhere. Yeah, we've got a few things that we can bet on here, to make the Final Four, to make the playoffs. Winning manufacturer, winning team. They got rid of, where'd the season longs go? They had season matchups, but those appear to not be there anymore, so that's too bad. But yeah, plenty of props to talk about tomorrow. Back to the Cup Series, so very excited for that. Don't forget to place those Grand Enfinger bets.
Please don't. And don't forget to sign up for Underdog Fantasy too. Use that promo code RACESGP and do it today. Today, when you're listening to this right now, go do it, because we're that close to our bonus. Like we are that close, and I definitely want to hit that bonus because Cody and we took the week off and we want to get paid for it. So we love you all and we want you to help pay for that week.
I need to refilled from the vacation. That stuff's not cheap.
No, it is not. But all right, Cody. Well, then, as we send everybody off into the sunset today, and we join back tomorrow, let everyone know where they can find you in the wide world of outdoors.
Yeah, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Lots of it. That NFL preseason article will be out any minute, so make sure you check that out. And PLL back with it all again this week. So give me a follow over there. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Subscribe to the YouTube. Click the bell. All the fun stuff. See you guys tomorrow for more Cup Series talk.
Sir, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on. Make sure you check out my handball video out there. I want to get back into that. I'm going to have to get back into that before it's all said and done. So let's get more handball. And in the meantime, just follow me there on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Plus, keep an eye out. Got some stuff brewing. I'm working on some stuff. Maybe by the end of or the middle of August, I'll have something launched for sure. But have some fun, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, let's go racing and let it ride.